Alright everyone, how you guys doing? This video is going to be about my initial impressions on the iMac 21.5 inch 2012. Even although I've not purchased an iMac yet, I have had some experiences with it today. Had about 45 minutes in an Apple store, plus one of my mates bought one yesterday. So I have had kind of some time with it and to form some sort of opinions for kind of what that counts. So I went today and spent about 45 minutes in an Apple store, Brayhead, if that is of any interest to you, and all the models were out of stock. I say all models, I just mean the 21 inch because those were the only models that were released yesterday, and there's no way to tell how many of the models they received because they ran out within 2 hours apparently. Apparently there was a queue outside as well before the doors opened yesterday for the store, which is a new for the Macs, eh? Who would be queuing for an iMac? I know I would be if I was looking for one, and you know, if there'd been a year delayed anyway, so it's understandable why some people were, you know, desperate for one. But anyways, I'm not going to give you an in-depth kind of comparison or review because it's just not fair. I've not had enough time hands-on with it. But for my initial impressions, the things that I messed about with for the 45 minutes, things that stood out, I was like, wow, that's quite nice. Number one, the display. It's actually quite good. It's gorgeous. It's a bit like, remember when the MacBook Airs 2010 were released? And they were just phenomenal because, you know, if you put a MacBook Air 2010 and a current non-Retina MacBook Pro side by side, the MacBook Air screen wins hands down. It's just, you know, not reflective, it's just more crisper. And the same goes with the new iMacs. They are just crisp, there's no reflection. And funnily enough, the place where the iMacs were actually positioned were near to a Thunderbolt display, and you can just put them side by side and you can just see the huge improvements in terms of the reflection that was coming off the Thunderbolt display versus the new iMac. It's just, even by using it, it just seems a lot more crisper, brighter as well. That's something that I noticed kind of straight away. Next thing is sound. Picture this, you're going into an Apple store, it's a Saturday, it is mobbed, 1st of December, people are going ape. Yeah, you know, buying stuff, and it's just busy than normal. And you're using an iMac, and you know, I just put a trailer on for Taken 2 and, you know, 1080p. Wanted to check out the display as well while I was at it, and the sound was just so crisp. You can hear, you know, the bass, you know, everything was just so vibrant. It just felt like a cinematic experience. Not saying that my current iMac 2010 is bad in terms of sound, it is absolutely great, but for that design of all-in-one machine to have that beastly audio, it is just crazy. Coming on to design, well, I must say, okay, in the previous iMac video I did kind of slate the design, you know, who wants design, and that still applies. Okay, it's thinner, but why does it help the average consumer? Sure, it's just kind of the honeymoon period, everyone looking at the iMac, oh, it's changed, it's thinner, but it'll kind of soon fade away, and it'll be irrelevant because it doesn't help the consumer in any shape or form other than it looks kind of nice. But I still don't see the kind of, you know, the mentality behind it. In terms of the machine that I was using, they didn't have any Fusion Drive machines in store. I think, and I still stand by this, the colour deals for the new iMac are, number one is the display after seeing it today, and number two is the Fusion Drive. Everything else is kind of like, yeah, USB 3 is not why you're going to be wanting this machine. It's not going to be a deal breaker. The quad core processors, the graphics card, they were kind of expected in any case. But yeah, I just thought I'd make this small video for those of you who are getting your iMacs. Yeah, the 2012 machines are pretty nice for what they are. If you are getting one, I would still suggest paying that £200 more and getting the Fusion Drive. Today the iFixit broke down or tore apart the iMac, the new ones, and they've given it a repairability score of 3 out of 10. It's been 7 out of 10 for the previous generations. They're saying this is just horribly wrong. You know, everything is glued together really strong, and if iFixit are having problems, imagine what average consumers are going to do. Am I going to be getting the iMac for myself personally? No. I'm just going to upgrade my current iMac, which I've never really tinkered around with my iMac other than putting 12 gigs of RAM in it, which was just pretty easy as it was just 3 screws and shoving it in. But to install an SSD on your iMac is a whole different ballgame, a bit like Mission Impossible, because you've got to get the suction cups and take the screen off, and not as difficult as the new iMacs in terms of opening them up. So if you're getting an iMac this year's edition, 2012, make sure the spec that you get is going to last you for the entirety of however long you want to use your machine, I guess, because you can't upgrade at a later stage. So let me put this back to you guys. Did you pick up an iMac? Which one? Is it on its way? Which spec? You know, what made you buy this year's edition over last year's? I hope it's not design. Really hope it's not. See you in the next video. Cheers. 13 colours to choose from. 12 pockets to store your essentials. That's right, you heard correct. Introducing the iGear H12, which features our popular CAM system, connectivity, accessibility, mobility and security. There's a dedicated touch-sensitive iPod Nano Pocket or your iPod Touch, iPhone or Android device, Galaxy Note 2 Pocket, your Passport Pocket, dedicated pocket for your SD card, and a cable tidy system to keep your wires tangle-free at all times. The iGear H12 is available to purchase now at iGear.com. iGear has been featured in the British Forces News, the Gadget Show Live, the Herald, the Journal, 9 to 5 Mac, Wanderlust, and many more. Our other unique travel clothing include the iGear Vest 18, the iGear Jacket 22, and more recently, the iGear T5.